Hello, my name is Jocelyn Isaias. I'm an INFO4670 for the summer. This is my midterm assessment. The title of my project is Exploring Amazon Toy Products to Increase Usability. An overview of my project, we're going to start with an introduction to data analysis and knowledge discovery, followed by a background of the project and the specific scenario I put myself in to explore the data set itself, where it came from, its attributes, characteristics, stuff like that. After that is the process I went through to clean the data to make it more smooth to run and feed through the pivot tables and charts and stuff like that. After that, data analysis, the questions and goals I was kind of going for, and the process of how I found those answers, and then the conclusion, the results that I found, and the impact this will have on an organization or company. Starting off with the introduction, this class is data analysis and knowledge discovery. It's just a group of techniques of data mining, big data mining, with so much information. It's good to just know how to wrangle a bunch of data. And while filtering out, you can find overarching patterns in the data. And we use these patterns to support data based decision making and also predict how people will act, how people will think, and, based on information that we've gathered in the past. My interest in this project is after graduation, I'm planning on entering the user interface, user experience industry, the UI UX, which is also known as product design. A big milestone in that industry is user centered design, designing products with the user specifically in mind. How we do that is a lot of user testing and user feedback, people telling us what they like, what they don't like, what they were confused about, and using that information to make data driven decisions. And with those decisions, produces an intuitive design, products that people like using and enjoy multiple times. The scenario that I put myself in this project to explore the data is I pictured myself as the lead toy designer elf in Santa's workshop, tasked with designing this season's must have Christmas toy. The data set is toy products on Amazon. It was extracted from Amazon.com. It is a set of 10,001 entries. It is actually a subset of a much larger database, which is more than 115,000 products. Below are the attributes. The attributes that are bold and in green are the ones that I used the most. They were the ones that I thought were the best to compare to each other to find the answers to the questions I was looking for. But before I could explore the data, I needed to do some data cleaning, which is just, filling in the blanks, making everything, converting what I needed to do. So the first thing I noticed is this came with English pounds as the price. And the first thing I did was just remove the pound symbol from in front of all of the numbers and just made them individual numbers. Also, I am personally from America. I know that in this scenario, I'd be working for Santa and he's international, but I wanted to go ahead and convert it to US dollars just for curiosity's sake. So I set up a formula where anything that was in the price or the pound category, just take it, times it by 127, which is the conversion rate, and then put it in the box next to it. Under number available in stock, these were blank, and I originally replaced them with not in stock, but then later needed to use the number, so I just replaced them all with 0. So if it didn't have anything in stock, it just said 0. Under the average review ratings, out of stars, this came 3 out of 5 or 2.3 out of 5. I just took the out of 5 stars, put it at the top, and then made all of these individual numbers. My original goals and questions that I was going for in the scenario, I would be an elf working for Santa. And to me, the questions that came up are what type of toy, category, or subcategory are people liking the most or the highest rated? What is the average price for a toy? And then when in years and months uh, does Amazon, or in my case, the North Pole, have the least amount of products and the most amount of products in stock? And as a subset, do we have enough of the highest rated products in stock? So for our first assignment, we defined the data, cleaned it, kind of came up with goals of what we were looking for, and we created a toy or an overview, which you can see up here. This gives me the total number of reviews, average customer rating, average price For a toy, highest and lowest. And you can see these formulas over here: sum, average, average, max, and min. So these just answer very basic questions we have starting out, and they can all be seen in this little table. We also learned about HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. I used VLOOKUP because I have column headers. I heard that if it's row headers, then HLOOKUP is what you're going to be looking for. But how I set it up is I told Excel, B12 is this box. Anything that I put into B12, look into the original data set and bring me the second column, which would be the product name, and false being I want the approximate answer. I did that with customer ratings and price. So if this changes, and in my Excel you can put any kind of product ID from the original data set and it will bring you these things. I had heard that match is a little bit better than VLOOKUP because it doesn't have, you can look for things on the left side of the item that you're looking for. So I put the product name here. This is a product name, and I told it go to the original data set into these columns and bring me back the match that's in it, and also bring me back the number, the row that it's in. So this drone right here, in the original data set, is in the 5th row, and that's why that 5 is there. On to the questions. So my first question was, which category or subcategory has the highest ratings? After doing some pivot tables and charts, I filtered it down to the top 10 because there were so many options. And what we found with that is games had the most. So down here is the category, and here is the number of reviews. Games had the most reviews with over 14,000, and its average rating was about 4.7. And you can see that with this little legend. So we have games, behind it is character and brands, and after that is arts and crafts. Down at the bottom, here's just all those things listed out, the total number of reviews at the bottom, and the average customer reviews, which is 4.7. My next question was, what is the average price for a toy? And here we've got the product names at the bottom and the prices that they are. I also filtered it into the top 10. We saw the highest price was for a Thor statue, about $3,000. Lowest price in the top 10 is going to be a diorama, which is about $600. Without the filter, though, the average price was about 25, which we had already seen. And with the filter on top 10, the average price is $1,000. There were definitely some outliers there, so that's why I did the filter on and off. Because the 3,000, as you can see down here, the 3,000 is quite the outlier. My other question was, when year and month does Amazon have the least amount and the most amount of product in stock? So I filtered it down again. I filtered it down to the last 5 years. It actually had everything from 2000 to 2020, so it's 20 years of data. Um, but what I did is I filtered down to the last 5 years. You can see it's 2014 to 2019 because 2020 is not a full year just yet when I'm recording this. So as we see in the last 5 years, we had the least amount of product in 2015 and the most amount of product in 2017. That doesn't do a lot for me being an elf designing a toy for this upcoming season. So I went ahead and took the most recent year, 2019, and broke it down by month. And down here you can see we had the least amount of product in April and the most amount of product in October, probably getting ready for the Christmas season. I also threw in the number of reviews by month. I also did it by year. My Excel file, you can do it by year, but I thought it'd be more helpful to do it by month to see when are people leaving the most reviews. And as we saw in 2019, most customer reviews are in January, and the least amount are going to be in April. And then along with this one, we did a descriptive statistics that kind of tells me my mean, median mode, standard deviation, max, min, sum, all in one nifty table. So as a conclusion, I'm an elf in the North Pole thinking about how I need to design this new toy. And what we found is when it comes to category, it seems like games have the most positive reviews and the most reviews. And then after that, it'd be some kind of character or brand or arts and crafts. Average price for a toy, I would think without the filter is going to be about $25, which is like the average price. Doing the top 10, obviously, like I said, is a big outlier. But we do know that somebody's willing to pay $3,000 for a Thor statue, but we want to keep our price somewhere between the 25 and 50, 100, depending on what the toy is, if we want to hit the average American. So, and then when does Amazon or when do we have the least and most amount of product? This is obviously important for knowing when to evaluate our stock, order more before the Christmas season, stuff like that. And we did find that April was our lowest amount and October was our highest. So in April, we probably need to think about ordering more or stuff like that. So the impact of this, of data mining and filtering through, exploring this information, just kind of goes back to what we're doing. We're just taking big amounts of information and filtering through it to see if we can find any kind of patterns. And with those patterns, like we found what type of toy people like, how much they're willing to spend on a toy, and also when to restock and have stock, all comes from pivot tables and Excel and exploring all of this information. And with that information, going back to knowing what people want, the feedback, and making more intuitive products that people love using and reusing and will continue to buy. Thank you.